Welcome to another episode of the And Now I Know podcast. I'm your host, 32 Flavors, and I'm here to inspire you to live life at your fullest potential. If you're looking for a podcast that's going to inspire you to chase your dreams, motivate you to get up each and every day, and help you navigate life just a little bit better, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on any streaming platform, be sure to hit that follow button, and don't forget to download this episode. Welcome back, you guys. Today is super special because, as you can see, we have a special guest. Our guest today is my client, right? As you guys know, I have my own lash business, and one of my lash clients is Miss Elizabeth, who is our guest today. So a few weeks back, it's probably been like a month or so now, we had a really fire conversation on the lash bed. And I feel like as a lash tech, or if you are a beauty professional listening, you know, sometimes you just have the moments where you just click or just have a good, genuine connection with one of your clients, and it develops into something great. And obviously, luckily for me, I can film it again on a freaking podcast episode. And that is why I wanted to have her as a guest. Every time she comes and we talk, we vibe, and it's just genuine. And y'all know I've talked about this several times. Like, I just love a genuine, organic connection, and I love meaningful conversations, which is why I have her on this show today. So without further ado, we have Miss Elizabeth McCormick. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. So, Miss Elizabeth, tell us about yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Elizabeth McCormick. I am a fire captain and a content creator in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm also a St. Louis transplant. So I'm not from St. Louis. I'm from Chicago, and I grew up in Florida. And I moved to St. Louis in 2009 or 2010. So by this point, I should just say I'm from St. Louis, but I was not born and raised here. I have a very large family, animal lover, big into fitness and mental health, and I've been getting my lashes done by Jayla. Actually, I got my lashes done by Jayla for the very first time like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was a one-time client. I never came back.
Yeah.
And then I randomly was just like, you know what, I want to start getting my lashes done. So I think I've been pretty consistent with you now for about a year. Yeah. No, about almost a year.
Girl, I'll be losing track of time.
Yeah, okay.
It's been about, it's probably since last summer, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. But Elizabeth, thank you for coming. I'm so excited for this conversation. Yeah. Like, I literally wish that we had mics on when we had our first original conversation. Yeah. It was so fire. And so hopefully we can dig that up or something even better today. All right. So let's start with a little icebreaker. Okay. All right. What's the most girly thing about you that people wouldn't expect?
The most girly thing? Oh, I love perfume. Okay. I have roughly 100 bottles of perfume and body oil. I am a perfume connoisseur. I know you can spray something around me and I will be able to tell you exactly what's in it. So I love perfume.
What's your favorite perfume right now?
It's too many to
I know it's
from.
Different ones for different times of the day, different,
Yes. So I would probably say I love Clive Christian Blonde Amber.
Okay.
I love Parfums de Marly, Delina.
Oh,
exclusive.
yes.
Louis Vuitton, a Trap Rev. I love that.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
So I think that's what I'm wearing right now.
Okay, that smells great. What's another thing? Outside of perfume?
Probably the fact that I love getting my makeup done.
Okay. I can see faces beat.
I love doing my makeup. I love getting my makeup done. I love getting my lashes done, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm in a uniform most of the time, so I feel like I never really get to be as feminine as I would like to be, because obviously those things are not appropriate from my day job. But yes, when I am not at work, hair, makeup, nails, everything.
At work, do you ever, outside of your lashes, do you put on a little makeup or?
Girl, no. Chapstick and a little bit of sunscreen, that's about it.
Yeah, okay. What about your hair? Like, is it always in a hat? Like, what's the vibe?
Usually pulled back in a bun, pulled back in a bun. Hat on, headband, something like that, just so it's out the way, out of my face.
So I guess with you not wearing makeup at work, do you prioritize skincare?
Oh, absolutely.
What's the skincare
especially
routine
now
like?
That I'm in my 30s. So, Epionce, medical grade skincare is going to be the best for you in your late 20s and into your 30s.
Yes. I know about
I use Epionce Lytic Gel Cleanser, their purifying toner, tretinoin and azelaic acid.
Yeah.
And a very, very La Roche-Posay.
Yeah.
Girl, I don't know how to pronounce it. But very good moisturizer.
Okay,
it's not that expensive, but
yeah,
just really, really, really good moisturizer at night and sunscreen. 50 SPF.
Yeah, I know about the Epionce because I don't know if you know, I'm an esthetician. And esthetician
I did
school,
not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Esthetician school, Epionce was like this big thing. Like, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. Okay, cool. Next icebreaker question. Have you ever got your nails done and broke them trying to save somebody's life or on the job and was like, dang, like, I just got my nails done?
So I wear my nails really short. So I can't say that I broke them trying to save somebody's life, but I've chipped a nail or two, even though I wear them very short.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my nails to get ripped off.
Yeah.
So I try to avoid any type of injury. So I just get them super, super short.
Yeah.
Whenever I have like an extended time off or I go on a vacation or something like that, then I'll get the
extra.
extendos. But for the most part, very short.
Yeah. Okay. What about you? Did you have to change in order for you to pursue this career?
Had to learn to not be so sensitive. That's a big one. I am
That's
deeply emotional, and very I'm a very sensitive, very intuitive person, and that industry just does not allow for that.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to show compassion. Yes, you want to just be cognizant, just socially aware and of what other people's needs are, both, on the street and with your colleagues and comrades.
Yeah.
But you have to have a very, very thick skin. I wouldn't say I was thin-skinned prior to the fire department, but I would definitely say you grow a callus, so to speak, and you learn not to take things so personally all of the time.
So how do you disassociate? Because with you being such an empath and compassionate person, you obviously have to do something within your mind to turn that off, you know?
You have to leave work.
Yeah.
At work. That's not possible all of the time. Because whether it's in the firehouse or a call that you ran or something to that degree, sometimes you those things kind of affect you and they kind of linger. But I try to make sure that I make my home life, and my work life. Yeah. I am really intentional about doing things to decompress, to alleviate stress. I try to make sure that I'm really cognizant when I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed, and I try to implement self-care, whether that's taking a day or a couple of days to just unplug from everything and everybody, whether it's journaling, getting outside in nature if the weather is nice, going to get a massage, going to get my lashes done, my nails done, something that kind of removes me from that space. But you have to do something, otherwise it can eat you alive.
So what are some things that you tell yourself in the moment when you feel your emotions about to creep in? Or what are some things that you do? Because, for example, me, I'm overcoming being so anxious, right? I feel like anxiety kind of took over my mind for a little minute. Now I'm in a much better place. But one thing my therapist would tell me to do is to stop and just breathe, and like slow down when you feel your body rushing inside, So what do you do when in moments where you feel your emotions about to creep in?
So it's probably not the healthiest thing, but I talk to myself internally. If I am, especially because I am in a male-dominated field, and now I am a leader of mainly men. So I'll talk to myself. Like, I have an internal dialogue with myself, and I'll tell myself, hey, you get your shit together. Like, you can't, if you got to do this, go in the bathroom. Go in the bathroom, shed your tears if you have to, wipe them off, and let's keep this thing moving. Make sure I'm breathing. I try to really analyze a situation first to see and ask myself, okay, why am I feeling like this? Immediately, what about this situation is triggering you? What about this situation is making you upset? What about this situation is causing you to have an emotional response? And I'm always able to catch myself, it seems like. And there are moments, of course, that are harder than others, depending on what the situation is and what it is that you're facing. But you have to kind of have I won't say it's like an alter ego, but the internal dialogue I have with myself, I have myself, and then I have, what do people
Sasha
say?
Fierce.
Man, I got that, yeah. When people all got that dog in me, like, you gotta, like, sometimes the dog come out, and she's like, all right, come on, girl, let's, get this thing the fuck together.
I know as a woman, we obviously have that female intuition, right? Mm-hmm. When you are on the job, obviously you're working with men. Do you feel like men also have a level of sense? Okay, in moments where emotions are very high, do you ever have your are there male coworkers or colleagues that say, hey, like, pull it together? Like, are they do you feel like men in those moments are as emotionally in tune as far as like support? You get what I'm saying? Like, have you ever had a colleague say, hey, like, I see you about to have one of your moments? They might not say that, but they're like, hey, like, I noticed something, tighten up, Yeah.
So that is not, so yes, but not specific to me. We do that for each other.
Okay.
So if I see, I would say kids, right? Kids are a big thing. And whenever you have a tragic call with a child, especially if people have children, that affects them very deeply, because sometimes you'll see yourself or you'll see your own child in that situation. So, there have been moments where, I've gotten choked up about maybe a call that didn't go great, but that's not specific to me because I'm a woman. That's because I'm a human.
Right.
And same thing for my male colleagues. We hold each other accountable, and we comfort each other as well.
That's good. Is there training for that as far as like learning how to comfort one another?
So there are several, across the fire service, there are several different peer support programs. You also have critical incident stress debriefings, things like that, when there's a very, very tragic call. So those are things that your respective department can, or they do have available in order to make sure that the members who are going on these calls are that we're making sure that they're okay too.
Yeah. Obviously, this job, it sounds like it takes or requires you to be very emotionally regulated and aware. What did you do to get to this point? Because the way that you talk, a lot of people don't talk like that. It takes a lot of self-awareness. It takes a lot of self-work. You know what I'm saying? How did you get to this point? Was it growing up? Was it the job? Was it training? What made you this way?
I'd say trial and error, learning. I was 24 or 25 when I came into the fire service. And I look back on it now. I'm 34 now, and I look back like, wow, I was a kid, when I came in, when I became a firefighter. So it takes time. It takes time. I think some of it happens naturally just because of the seriousness of my profession. It just causes you to grow up.
Yeah.
It causes us to mature in a lot of ways, and it causes us to stay youthful in a lot of ways, for better or for worse, depending on who you're asking. But it wasn't something that was just, I had to think about. It's something that just comes with time and experience.
Yeah, that's good. How has your relationship with fear changed since being a firefighter?
I think all of us have a healthy respect. I won't call it fear, healthy level of respect for situations that are inherently dangerous, whether it's a fire, whether it is a hazmat call, whether it is a multi-casualty incidents, things like that. I think we all know that our job is just inherently dangerous and that we have to be on our toes. I mean, this is the job you signed up for. I think everyone, because again, we're like all having this like human experience. I think everyone may feel some kind of nervousness or fear at some point about something, whatever that thing may be for you, whatever that trigger is. But it's just like something in you that when it's time to go, when the bell hits, when you know that like you've been called to do what it is that you were called to do, you just do it.
Yeah. What is something only experiencing death can teach you about life?
That life is supposed to be lived, for sure. We don't know what's on the other side of this thing. So I think a lot of times fear, we're just talking about fear, right? Fear holds us back from doing some of the things that we want to do, whether it's starting a business, whether it's, showing up online, whether it's learning a new skill, whether it's completely changing your life and doing a pivot. We allow the fear of what other people think to get in the way.
Yeah.
Once your time is up here, it's up. That's it. So whatever you're gonna do, you better fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't be nervous, afraid, have imposter syndrome, all of that. Like, I've experienced all of those things. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Do it anyway, because I think most of us make the mistake of thinking that we have time.
Yes, that's good.
Even when you're like super young, I'm only in my 20s. I'm only in my 30s. I'm in my 40s. I've seen someone as young as a 8-year-old, a 3-year-old, a newborn, not,
Make it.
Yeah. So you in your 40s, or you in your 50s, or you 25, and you scared to do, and it's like you have your whole life ahead of you, but we also don't know how much life we do have ahead of us at any given time. That's definitely something that I've wrestled with over the last 2 or 3 years, is wanting to, there are some things that I want to do, some ambitions that I have, and like, oh man, I want to be taken seriously. I can't veer over into this lane. I have to stay in this little bitty box, this square that life has seemed to provide for me, because I don't want my peers or this industry or my family to they see me as this serious, stoic, mature figure because of the profession I've decided to be a part of. I can't do this. This is gonna minimize that.
Girl, yes, I feel that same way.
Yeah.
Being a lash tech and thinking and telling everybody, oh, I'm gonna be this girl boss. I'm gonna open all these beauty bars and I didn't realize that I was going to tap into a new industry, which is, I believe, is my calling, motivational speaking, right? And so now I'm like, dang, I do see God moving me in this direction, but what are people going to think about me? Because people know me as this one thing, this professional, the beauty girl. They don't know me to be speaking. I have clients come in and they like, I just saw your TikTok, or I just saw your video. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like I'm living double lives. Like, some of my clients don't even know about 32 flavors. Some people just know me as Jay the Lash Tech or Jay the Boss. And so really fully learning how to step into every version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
That has been a struggle, but I'm pushing through like the best way that I can. And I believe that as time goes on, I will get better, but I totally resonate with what you're saying. I think people don't realize that we really don't have that much time. And it's a blessing to get up every single day, because we think, oh, this won't happen to me, until it does. Oh, that tragic incident, that won't happen until it does. So, yeah.
And I really feel compelled to say this part. Age, right? Us being women, we are told, oh man, after 25, that's it. Once you hit 30, that's it. Reinvent your life as many times as you have to. I am in the process now of like seeing my life in a whole different direction, seeing myself in a whole different way, and wanting this version of myself while I'm this version of myself. It does. I don't care if you're 25, 35, 45. If you got to start over, start over.
Yeah.
Start over.
That's good. I was talking to my therapist on my most recent therapy call, and she told me that the average person changes their career about 4 times, right? And the reason why we were talking about that is because I have been diving into a new career path. I haven't officially told people yet, so I want to keep it on the hush. But if you've been watching my story, you kind of see I've been diving deeper into the fitness industry and the health and wellness industry. And I can talk about that all day. Like, I feel like, wow, this new version of myself, I didn't really expect myself to be here. I thought I was going to be just this lash tech that opened a shop and just was successful from that. And now I'm like, wow, this is a whole new avenue that feels more aligned with who I am today, you know? And so as far as the concept of time, I recently recorded an episode and I was talking about the things that I learned in my 20s. And one of the things that I did mention is that when you are younger, you think you have so much time on your hands. It's like YOLO, you only live once. I can make silly decisions, you know what I'm saying? And Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that one. Okay, moving to the next question. Because your job requires you to be so strong, do you ever struggle turning off being in control in a relationship?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've gotten a lot. Well, I won't say it. It's not so much control as it is a certain level of toughness, learning, and there's a balance because the Elizabeth I am at work, or I can't be like you have to be Captain McCormick at work, and then I ain't gonna tell you my partner's pet name for me, but then being Elizabeth at home, and sometimes the lines can get blurred, and to be a woman in a male dominated field, if you date men, it has to be a man who is very emotionally intelligent, who knows how to communicate their fears, their insecurities, if they have any, their likes, dislikes, desires, etc. And I have been really lucky to be involved with someone who, although they are not in the fire service, they have been incredibly supportive of my career. But there have been times where we've had to have some sit downs, and he's like, "Hey, babe, like you ain't at the firehouse." Like, we've had to,
That's
and
good.
that kind of brings you back. Like, oh, okay, let me get my head together. But taking the time when you get home to decompress. Don't talk to me for like 20 minutes. Let me
change characters real quick.
Let me just like shed this skin. And you literally do. You talked about living a double life earlier. It really is a double life because I think we're all multiple versions of ourselves depending on the situation and things of that nature. But the me I am at the office is not the me I am at home. And I think in order to have a healthy work-life balance, it has to be that way.
Yeah, that's good. Because you experience so much trauma and you're exposed to so many things that we don't, as I don't want to say regular people. I just feel like you guys are superheroes. So the regular people, what do you need more from your partner because of the job that you do? Like, do you feel like there's something extra that you need, and do you ask for that?
I think when there are moments that I've needed extra emotional support, just someone to vent to, like I've done that. But I would say that the flip side of that is knowing when, and this comes with time and maturity and experience, knowing when to shelter your partner from certain things, because there are just some things that I'm going to experience and go through that my partner won't be able to relate to or understand. There may be some things I do in order to cope with the situation. A lot of people in my industry have like really dark humor, and I'm not saying that's the healthiest way to cope, but sometimes that's just how we cope. And that's not something that someone who is not a part of that industry all too often can understand or relate to. I'm very communicative, but also I've learned over time some things have to stay with a mentor or a trusted peer or friend or colleague. Some things aren't for your partner, and not to say that you can't share everything. Sometimes it's just not wise to share everything.
Did you learn this through trial and error, or have you always been this way?
No, absolutely. I've learned it through 100% through trial and error, because what I get paid to deal with trauma and death, destruction, tragedy, my partner does not. So there are things that may be triggering or hurtful to him that he doesn't want to deal with or can't deal with or can't stomach, and you don't want to cause your relationship with anyone to deteriorate over time, because your partner can question themselves or question you, like, man, you experience all these really rough things. Like, why do you put yourself through that? Why are you allowing yourself to experience these things? So it definitely has taken time, a lot of communication, a lot of honesty and tough conversations. Like, hey, I can support you in this, but this I can't deal with. And thankfully, there haven't been many times where my partner needed to step away for himself. For the most part, he has been
able to handle
my
it.
rollie. Like, I'm telling you, have my back to the umpteenth degree. But when I was much younger, I didn't consider, and I think oftentimes in any industry or anything, any dream that we're chasing, and we have somebody by our side, I think oftentimes we don't, in our pursuit of that thing, we don't consider how the thing affects them. Because whatever I experience, he experiences it secondhand. So if I'm smoking cigarettes and we live in the same house, yeah, I'm probably, for sure gonna, get cancer or get sick, but I'm exposing them to it too.
That's good.
And that means they may get sick as well. They have a high chance of getting sick. So making sure that I'm doing the things necessary to protect my own heart, protect my own mental health, protect my own mind. Whatever I do, positive or negative, is gonna rub off on my partner.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I mean, you guys have been together for a minute.
For quite some time.
Yeah, so I'm sure it took a lot of tough conversations.
Oh, girl.
What you're talking about takes a lot of emotional maturity. Mm-hmm. Everybody is not like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So shout out to you guys, especially shout out to you, but shout out to him for being able to hold you down, because you don't really hear a lot about men being emotionally mature. You know, it's always the women, we always have it together, and it's hard finding a guy that is like that. So big ups to him. I
would say anybody that's in my industry, your partner, your wife, husband, whatever it may have you, they sacrifice. They sacrifice greatly. They have to prepare themselves every day for you to walk out that door and know that there's a possibility that you'll never come back.
Ooh, that's tough.
They have to trust that you know what you're doing when you go to work, that the people around you know what they're doing. When you could do everything right and still not come home.
Yeah.
So, and that's just the job part of it, know. You'll oftentimes hear about firefighter wives, police wives, but you don't the male partners of women firefighters, or or women police officers, you don't too often hear about their challenges and how they have to show up for their partner, and the sacrifices that they make every day.
Yeah. Do you know, obviously we're not talking to him, but what does he do to mentally prepare? Like, you can't have anxious attachment, nothing dealing with somebody with their job. No. Because I would be at the edge of my seat every day. Yeah. I don't think I could handle that.
No. He's very confident.
Yeah.
He's just together, man. Like, I can't think of a person that I know that's more level-headed or even keeled, and I'm sure he's gonna watch this, so shout out to you, babe. But I can't think of anybody who. He is probably the most grounded human being I think that I know.
That's good.
Walking the planet. Yeah,
that's good. When we speak about grounded, I know you mentioned faith to me and how you are deep in your faith, right? How does that come into play when it comes to your job? As far as your relationship with God.
I would say a trend that I've noticed in my profession and professions like it, that it either strengthens your relationship with God, or I'll say this, it strengthens your belief in God, or it completely erases it.
Oof.
Yeah, so I think it just really depends on where you fall in the spectrum. There have been some things that I've seen that have, or some things that I've experienced as well, that have made me say, man, I know God has to be real, because I know this much suffering in the world can't exist without there being something better on the other side of this thing. And there's some things I've experienced that have nothing to do with the fire department, have nothing to do with my career, just in my own personal life, my own childhood. And I'm like, there has to be more, and I have to be certain that there is more. Otherwise, what is this?
Yeah, this might take me out mentally. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think about it that way. Mm-hmm. How important do you feel someone in this industry, whether they're a police officer, a firefighter, how important is it to have a relationship with God to you?
I think to me, I have to have a relationship with God because I think that's the only thing that's going to keep me sane. I have to believe that there is something bigger than me, that's running things, that's controlling everything. I think you have to believe in something. I know that everybody's beliefs aren't the same. These are my beliefs, but I think you have to have something that keeps you grounded, something that keeps you hopeful, something that keeps you from allowing because sometimes it's heavy, right? Sometimes it's really, really heavy. And I think that you have to have something to keep the weight from just crushing you.
On the flip side of that, obviously, I don't need you sharing all the firehouse tea, but what if someone does not have a relationship with God? How do you see, what are some of the negative effects of being a firefighter? Like, how does it affect you mentally without you having God in your life? I know people turn to certain vices. Is that a big thing in the firehouse community?
I would say you can have a relationship with God, and because this industry is so heavy, you can still turn to vices. I can't say that I've seen it within anyone in my ecosystem. I thank God that I think most of us are pretty well regulated. But you hear stories, in other departments. Those things exist.
Yeah.
You know that drinking, pornography.
Yeah.
Gambling. That there anything that the fire department and industries like it are just like a microcosm of society, right?
Yeah.
So any of the things that could cause somebody to fall into depression, any of the vices that someone would experience when they've experienced a lot of trauma, pain, heartache, tragedy, those same things exist because we are humans.
Yeah, I think naturally because of your job title, people automatically label you as like this superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And I'm just a girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing. I think people forget about that. Yeah. So it's like, wow, to have that level of emotional maturity is just amazing. Like, I really commend you because I talk to people all day, every day, and I'm just like, wow, like to be that level headed, to be that grounded. Obviously, you talk about your partner being grounded. Clearly, you are just as grounded. So that's amazing. And I applaud you for that.
I don't always get it right.
Yeah.
Let me say that, like, I don't always get it right. Like I said, I was 24, 25 when I came on the job. That's what we say, on the job. And I was a firecracker. Yeah. Like, any perceived disrespect, I'm checking it right then.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who you were, what time it was. I wasn't letting nothing fly.
Yeah.
But over time, sometimes you can have an important message, but the way you deliver it makes the message like unreadable. Yeah. So over time I learned that, like, you don't have to fight all the time. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's necessary to fight. It's necessary to advocate. It's necessary to stand up for yourself. But sometimes it's more about how you do things, not necessarily that you've done them.
Yeah.
And there have been plenty of situations that when I think back on it, reflect on it, like, man, I wish I would have handled it differently. I've certainly learned over time that when I approach a conflict, or when I approach a situation that maybe is uncomfortable in a way, especially if I'm approaching a person, and I do so with respect, but intent, and I'm confident about the situation, it tends to go better.
Yeah. Was there a certain moment that made you change your mind? Like, okay, I can't be a firecracker. Like, let me tighten up. Let me work on myself. Was there a moment in your career or a moment outside of your career that made you become this way, or just made the light bulb go off?
I think it was several little moments over time. I remember a moment that's fairly recent, when I could see myself, like I could see the change in myself, is that I had learned that I was gonna get promoted, and I knew that I was getting transferred to another assignment, because you don't stay when you get promoted, or you're going to get promoted. You typically don't stay in the same house where you were a private at, because these are your friends, these are your buddies, like y'all grew up together, and now you're a bird, you're spreading your wings, you're going somewhere else. And there was a situation where someone who had way more experience and way more time on than me let it be known that they thought I was inferior, incompetent. And when I saw them, I asked them about it. And the way that I posed the question, it wasn't like, hey, I heard you said. I just asked them, I said, hey, I'm about to be a captain, and I'd like some advice. And what do you think about this, that, and the other? And then, they were engaged. I brought them in, they were engaged.
Yeah.
And then, once I then confronted them with, the story about, or confronted them with, hey, this is what I know, they, the one thing that they said to me after the fact, they apologized, of course. But the one thing they said to me after the fact was like, I think you're going to be a great captain just because of how you're able to talk to people. I had one idea of you in my head, and now it's completely different. So, I can't say that I would have done that at 25.
Yeah.
I probably would have just been like, fuck you, and left it there. But
or let you have it.
Yeah.
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 That takes a lot of self-work. I can totally resonate with
Discipline.
that. I feel like naturally I'm ready to
pop
any disrespect. What?
Right.
I'm barking. You know what I'm saying? But as you grow older, you realize when you bark and doing all of that, it takes a lot of energy away from you, And a lot of times you don't realize that people are really just projecting how they feel about themselves onto you,
Oh, yes. I've 100% learned that a lot of times people are afraid of what they think abnormal is, or when they see something that's been one way for a very long time and then now it's something different. I think a lot of times our response to different change, uncomfortability, is fear and then anger. Yeah.
Because
I'm scared of this thing, or I'm scared of this thing. This doesn't look right. This doesn't look like what I think it's supposed to be, and now I'm pissed off that it ain't.
Yeah. What's the biggest misconception about being a strong woman when it comes to dating?
I haven't dated outside of my partner in so long, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Yeah. But I would say that you want to be in control. Like, that you need to be in control, that you have a bad attitude, that you are bossy or overbearing. And I think you can have strength as an individual without necessarily being a control freak. I think that, and this isn't true for just dating, but just in general, I think when people see a woman that they perceive to be strong, right, whatever strong means for you culturally, societally, etc., I think people believe that means that you are unbreakable. Maybe you're not sensitive. Maybe, nothing can rattle your cage, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Just because you are able to showcase strength does not mean that you don't have weaknesses, and it certainly doesn't mean that you don't have parts of you that are soft.
Yeah, and to go along with that, I don't think people realize when we talking about strong women, you have to ask yourself, how does she get that way? What does she go through to make her that way? A lot of us, and I'm speaking for myself, I would consider myself a strong woman, but I'm very sensitive. The one wrong thing might make me cry, you know what I'm saying? But when it's time to show up and be strong, just based off of what I've experienced in life, I've had to be strong. I'm also the oldest daughter, like all these different things. And so that contributes to how you show up in the world, and I do think it takes people wanting to get to know the softer version of you, and people not just going with how they perceive you. You know what I'm saying? People got to be open to wanting to get to know the softer version, the lighter version of you, How do you protect your femininity in a world that requires you to be so tough?
I would say ensuring that when I am off work, I do all of the girly, feminine things that I want to do. whether it's, again, beauty routine, self-care, working out, just being outside, being around nature, being around things that I deem feminine and or beautiful. That's very important to me. There's not a lot of room. Like at work, I am just at work, right? I'm a firefighter or a fire captain. That's work. I think one of the beautiful things about being on a team is that everybody has different things to offer, different strengths, different weaknesses, and we take all of these things and we form like a unit. So I think absolutely, being a woman, there are things that I offer to a team that a man, necessarily wouldn't, and there are things that a man offers to the team or to the conglomerate that a woman necessarily wouldn't. But it's all one just conglomerate, and we just make it work. So I don't think that I necessarily need to protect my femininity at work, because at work I am just a servant, right? It doesn't need to be a male, female. When we get on that truck, we all going, right? But obviously, because I'm in this uniform 24 hours a day, 10 days a month, when I'm off work, that's when I am more of myself.
Yeah. Do your colleagues see you as one of the bros, like one of the boys? Because
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah. I think, well, my role has shifted now. When I was a fire private, right? There is, yes, you're one of the boys, but you'll also never be one of the boys.
Yeah.
Right? If that makes sense.
Oh, I get it.
So, yeah, there are moments where it's us and we're a team, but there's often times where, like I would say at the end of a fire, it's, you got a group of guys standing here, you got a group of guys standing here, and then it's me by myself, because I'm usually the only woman. Yeah. So it's and now being a supervisor, right? There's a separation there. Yes, I am part of the team, but being the leader of said team, you have to make sure you give the personnel their own time apart from you. So it can be lonely.
Yeah. Because you are the only woman, do you feel like you have to show up even more tough, or you have to appear a little bit more rigid because you are a woman, so that way you're taken quote unquote serious?
Oh, absolutely. They say, oh, you don't have anything to prove. But just, I think every woman that's in the fire service or in industries like it, I think just in our mind, inherently, we feel like we have to prove our value. We have to prove our worth. We absolutely do have to show up and work twice as hard. We absolutely do have to study twice as hard. We absolutely do have to go above and beyond, I believe, to be seen as just as good or partially as good. So I think I'm just an ambitious person in general, but certainly I have that internal and external pressure of, you have to show up and you got to show out.
Yeah. And not only being a woman, a black woman
Black
at that.
woman, yeah.
So I'm sure it's a triple double fight, you know what I'm saying? Trying to prove your worth. How does that affect you, Like when you go home at night, how do you, I guess, feel about yourself once you've been proven all day,
Tired, exhausted sometimes. There are times when you want to give somebody a piece of your mind, but you know that if you do, it feeds a certain narrative. It feeds the black woman with an attitude narrative. So you have to be more composed, be more polished, be more professional. And then, you'll see a colleague who doesn't quite work as hard or is perceived not to work as hard. But, sometimes it's kind of it's like getting picked last for kickball, right? Not too many people are gonna want to pick the girl. I think I've been really blessed in my career to have some guys who are like, no, I'll take her any day
over the next person.
over the next dude. But that's an exception and not necessarily the rule. So I try to do my due diligence to make sure I'm constantly learning my job, that I'm constantly refreshing myself. When I make mistakes, I own it, right? I used to feel like I could never make a mistake, like I had to be perfect. And every time I was so rigid and so unwilling to allow myself the opportunity to learn to learn through mistakes or through trial and error, like I would mess up. Once I decided, you know what, I'm going to do my damnedest to do a good job. And if I make a mistake, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Now, granted, there are some mistakes that can cost, right? So nobody wants to make big mistakes, but things that will make you look silly or that may embarrass you, I've learned to not get embarrassed no more. Not get embarrassed, because you're going to make a mistake. You're not going to be perfect. If you're perfect in the fire service, on the fire ground, in the firehouse, in your journey as a leader, there's no room for growth. Yeah. But if you make mistakes, if you look silly, if you get embarrassed, there's always room to improve.
Yeah. And there's so much power in ownership. It takes a lot to say, you know what, I messed up, but I'm going to show up better, or I'm going to learn from the situation.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I would say is universal in the fire service. You owning, you making a decision, whether it's good or bad, and you owning said decision. And if it turns out that decision was a mistake, hey, you know what? I fucked up.
Yeah.
I fucked up. I'll do my best not to let that happen again. Mm-hmm. People respect that.
That's good. That's good. Going back to what you were just saying, what are things that you tell yourself to affirm yourself when it comes to you always being at work, proving yourself? When you get home, how do you affirm yourself after doing that all day?
Right. Well, I think part of it is making sure you're doing the work, right? So I can't affirm some bullshit, not when it comes to myself, right? So making sure I'm reading my rules, my SOGs, my policies, my procedures, making sure I'm taking classes to learn more about the profession that I'm in, making sure I am constantly a student of the job, making sure I'm into the job, making sure I'm doing the things outside of the job that help me show up for the job. Hey, is my health and nutrition right? Am I getting enough sleep? Am I moving my body the way I'm supposed to? Am I managing my stress? And if the answer to those things are no, then you have to do a self-analysis and be honest. Yeah. Be honest with myself. But when I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I tell myself, like, you deserve to be here. You belong. Like, you got this shit. You can do this. It takes a lot of self-belief. Even when you don't have self-belief or you're not so confident, be delusional. Yeah, be delusional. Mm-hmm. Like, man, I'm the best at this shit until you become the best at it.
Yeah, that's good. So I keep hearing accountability. Doing this job, you have to take ownership. Yeah. Are you as accountable in your relationship?
I would definitely. Well, thankfully, I have a partner who keeps me accountable. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I really appreciate about my partner is that, man, we are both usually pretty quick to apologize. Usually, pretty quick to say, you know what, I didn't say that the best way. I didn't word that the best way. Maybe I should rephrase that, or hey, you know what, let's table this conversation for now, because it's not, you know, we're having.
One thing about me, I'm not tabling.
That's I struggle with that. He's much better at that than I. Mm-hmm. But being willing to admit when you've made a mistake or a poor decision, and I've learned that is something that he definitely has taught me over the years. Just watching him be a leader.
That's good.
Within our relationship, watching him be a leader has taught me, honestly, how to be a leader outside of the home. Mm-hmm. And good leaders admit when they fucked up.
That's good.
When they made a mistake, when they didn't say the right thing at the right time, or when they should have done something and they didn't, or when they shouldn't have done something and they did. So.
That's good. That's good. I think, do you feel like as women we struggle with accountability? Just as a whole?
No.
I know everybody is their own person, but do you think we struggle with accountability?
I think people struggle with accountability. Yeah. I won't make it a gender thing. I think that a lot of us lack self-awareness. I think a lot of us don't ask ourselves really hard questions. We don't do like that self-analysis. A lot of us don't look in the mirror.
Yeah. That's true.
We want things. We feel entitled to things. We feel deserving of things that we haven't done the work for.
That's good.
And I think I think everybody should get to a point in their life when they're able to look in their mirror and say, okay, well, I said I want this type of man. He got to make this type of money. He got to look like this. He got to act like this. He got to give me these things. Okay, but
who am I going to be?
Right. Are you the type of person that you want? Are you the type of person they would want?
Yeah.
Right. And if the answer to that is no,
because that type of person is going to want the same in return.
Yeah.
You know, that type of person obviously is sure of themselves, self-aware, you know, and I do agree with you. A lot of times women say, I want this whole list from a man. But when it's time to look at yourself, you lacking in some areas, you know.
And men do the same thing.
Yes, they
do. Trust me, girl. I work with them. I work with them. Men can be delusional, but again, I'm teasing. But that is that's a very human thing to feel like because I want this thing, I should have this thing. And a lot of times we just haven't done the work for it. Yeah. We haven't even done the work within ourselves to have a relationship with anybody.
That's good.
Let alone a fairy tale that we've made up in our mind. And I'm not saying you can't have the fairy tale. I'm not saying you can't desire the fairy tale.
It takes
but
work.
What you gonna do when you get it?
Right.
Are you in a space now where you would even be able to receive such a thing? Have you dealt with your trauma? Have you gone to therapy? You know, do you want a person that you want this big beautiful house, and this house that looks a certain way and is clean and pristine all the time, but you don't even put your shoes up. You don't even put your shoes up.
Yeah.
You got the laundry sitting in the hamper from last week.
Right.
You know? So a lot of times I think, like I said, I think we want things that we're not ready for. Not even that we don't deserve, but things that we're just not ready for.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like if I'm just being transparent, right now the partner that I have, we talk about accountability all the time. And that's one thing that I struggle with sometimes because I've dated people, no shade to them, but I've dated people that I was better than. When I say better than, I mean I was in a better position than, right? So I felt like, you can't tell me nothing because look at how you live your life. You know, I go to the gym, I'm this, I'm that, and that does not make you this quote unquote better person. You get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
But now I'm with someone that I respect in a real way. So now it's like, dang, like I want to be accountable now, you know? And it's definitely taking some trial and error, some lessons, you know? And I think when it comes to accountability, the reason why people don't want to be accountable is because it's associated with shame, you know? Accountability will have you look at, if you're not careful, you can fall into that pit of shame, like, dang, like I might not be good enough, or it reminds you of what people might have told you when you were a kid, you know what I'm saying? So I think for me, when it comes to taking accountability, it could be harder because it's a little shame associated with it. I'm used to being the girl that don't gotta correct nothing, you know what I'm saying? Nothing, quote unquote. So yeah.
And I think shame is so interesting because shame will keep you from getting what you should have. Because then you feel stuck. Yeah. When you feel shame, you want to protect yourself.
You
want to close off, like, you know, and not even admit that it's there. And I don't think it's necessarily about wanting to, like, holding somebody accountable shouldn't equate to shaming a person or making a person feel shame. Accountability should come from a place of love. Yeah. It should come from a place of deep concern.
Because I love you and I care about you.
Yeah, and care for a person. You should hold somebody accountable when you care about them. One of the things that I've learned with my partner, a lot of, you know, I've experienced a lot of trauma when I was throughout my childhood and into my early adulthood. So I wanted to be better, right? I'm like, I wanted to be better for my partner. I wanted to make sure that they, you know, that they feel proud of being with someone that is younger than them, being with someone at the time who is or was not established, who was just kind of figuring her life out. And a lot of it was driven by the desire of wanting to feel good enough, which comes like underlying the feeling good enough is, I want to feel chosen.
Same. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
I want to feel chosen. I want to feel loved. I want to feel admired. I want to feel
I want to be the best partner you ever had.
Right. No, not even, no. It's away from that person. Like, oh, I'm doing all of these things, these external things in my mind for you. None of these things are for me. Right. But under that, oh, I want my partner to feel proud of me. The wound, right? Like the childhood wound is I want to feel good enough. I want to be loved. I want to feel wanted. And those things have nothing to do with my partner. Those things had everything to do with the trauma I'd experienced as a child that I had not grown through and gone through. Yeah. So over time, it sounds good when I want to be the best version of myself for my partner. That's cool. But what about being the best version of yourself for you? The partner is secondary. And that was something that he had to teach me. Like, no, like, I want you to be the best version of you for you. I could be gone tomorrow. You do all this. You build this house. You build this mansion for me. And then I die. We break up. I leave, move on, whatever happens. Then what are you left with? You know, you can't build a house, out of sand. Because the first wave that come in is going to wash it away. But if I'm building something for me, you're just an addition. Which is, and I think we don't, I think it sounds selfish to be like, no, I'm building this for me. And you can come along if you want, but this is mine. I think when you are in partnership with someone, you are two wholes becoming a whole, right? But a lot of times we see ourselves as a half or a part, and we need this person, we need this thing to become whole,
or to feel validated or chosen or loved.
When in reality, you should be whole before you come into someone else's life, or and things aren't perfect. Like things don't always line up that way, but that's just what I've learned.
Yeah, and some things are revealed within the relationship.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I feel like that was one thing, and this is me being super transparent. Like that's one thing that I struggled with dealing with my partner now. I didn't realize, dang, I'm still trying to be chosen in a way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to overperform and be the very quote unquote best, whatever that means. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to, based off of childhood experiences, you know what I'm saying? Feeling like you got to be perfect. You got to get it right every time, So I feel you on that for sure. For women who feel like life forces them to be strong, what advice would you give them to help them understand they have a choice?
Man, I'm still figuring that out for myself, because sometimes I feel like everything in my life is a challenge. Everything in my life is hard or tough or causes or is pushing me to like rise above. But I think things exist in duality, right? You can't have hard without soft. You can't have light without dark. So I think, like you said, knowing that you have a choice and knowing when it's appropriate to, or learning rather, when it's appropriate to use your strength and when it's okay for you to rest in your softness.
What does it mean to rest in your softness?
I've seen a lot of stories about Black women who run these like mega empires die in their 50s, or they get so stressed out, wound up, they've taken care of everybody and everything around them, and then they have nothing left for themselves. I don't want that for my life. I have no intention on working myself into an early grave, because I've taken care of everything and everybody, and I have nothing left over for me. So I think just being conscious when somebody wants to help you, let them help you. When someone wants to lighten your load, especially if it is someone you are in relationship with, whether it's friendship, whether it's family, acquaintances, and especially a romantic relationship, I think a lot of times women who are ambitious or successful or who are deemed as strong, there's this like hyper independence, right?
That's so me.
Yeah, allow yourself to be taken care of, and allow yourself, make yourself a priority. That's something I'm learning. Making me a priority.
Like I can get some help too. Everybody else get help and pushed and motivated and encouraged and lifted up. why can't I get that, you know?
Yeah, make sure you have things in your life that bring you pleasure. I know that a lot of times women who are very driven or successful, everything they do in their life is surrounded by or is incumbent on them being more driven and more successful, learning more about their industry, trying to hone their craft, trying to become a master of whatever it is that they're doing. But what are you learning about yourself
today?
Yeah, what are you learning about yourself? What are you learning about your own needs? How are you taking the time to rest, to refill your own cup? Those are things that I'm still learning and figuring out.
Same. For me, one way to rest in your softness would be giving it to God, like learning how to surrender. That's one thing that God has been teaching me at least for a year now, learning how to surrender and say, you know what, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah, I can't control this. I can't control this.
I can't control it. And one thing about me, I be trying to like control everything, control the future, control all these different things, control how people perceive me, and it's like that gets draining and tiring. Like
freeing yourself from the need of specific outcomes, I think, is a way that you can rest in your softness and knowing that whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And if it's not okay right now, it's gonna be okay eventually.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self one thing before she chose this path, what would it be?
It's gonna be hard. I would tell her it's going to be hard, but you can do it. It is going to be painful at times, but you can do it. It's going to change your life, but it's going to require some things from you. And it's going to require you to be a version of yourself that maybe you weren't ready for. It's going to take some innocence from you, but it's going to be really rewarding, and you are going to help change people's lives. That's what I would tell her.
That's good. Now, because we don't see a lot of women in your industry, if there is a listener right now who wants to be a firefighter or wants to work in an industry that's similar, what are some pieces of advice that you could give her? Maybe 1 to 3 pieces.
I would tell her that it's absolutely tangible. It is 100% doable if you're willing to do the work, because it is work. I would say go to your local fire station. Ask them, hey, how do I do this? Ask questions, be inquisitive, be curious, show that you have an openness to this, and get in shape. If you're not in shape, get in shape. This job is extremely physical, and you should be in really good shape to do it, because people's lives are literally on the line. But I think that you can do all things with hard work, dedication, and just the audacity to think that you can do this. That's what it took for me. Like, I had to think, okay, I can do this. This shouldn't be, this ain't nothing. This is easy work, right? But it's not. It's not easy work, but you have to, have that belief in yourself, even if it's only a little bit. Just something, there has to be something inside of you telling you, I can do this.
Yeah, that's good. So at the end of every episode, I end with the "And Now I Know" segment, right? So you would say, and now I know, based off of everything you experienced, based off of your whole entire firefighter journey, and now I know blank.
Okay. So I would say, and now I know.
Yeah.
Then, okay.
It's like ... And now I know.
Okay. That's what I say, ...
You don't have to say ...
Okay.
But I'm just giving you like ... And now I know.
Okay.
Blank.
I would say, and now I know that the fire service, being a firefighter, it's the greatest job in the world. One of the most challenging, for sure, but it is certainly the most rewarding thing that I've ever done. I wouldn't change it for anything, whether I stay in this industry for 50 years or leave in the next 5 months. My experience here has proven to be one of the most impactful that I've ever had. Seeing the looks on people's faces who look like me, from children to senior citizens, who, one, they can't believe that it's a woman on a fire truck, and certainly can't believe that it's a black woman in charge. That does something for me that I can't describe. Being there to help or assist in whatever way I can in the most critical times of somebody's life does something for me that I can't explain. And just seeing the amount of growth in myself in these almost 10 years, I think that God placed me here for a reason and for a purpose. And now I know that this is just what I'm meant to do.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so for the people who want to find you, reach out to you, DM you, where can they find you? What's your platforms? All the things.
So on all platforms, I am Hello Elizabeth Lauren. On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just Elizabet McCormick. But yeah, that's how you can find me. Reach out to me.
Do you allow people to DM you and do you answer
questions?
Yeah.
I'll answer questions. Yeah, if y'all want to DM me.
Because it might be some girls listening or ladies listening that want to dive into your field or need some advice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always willing to take questions. I'm super talkative. I might talk your ear off. So yeah, come one, come all. I'm here.
Yay. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much. This is so good. I feel like if you are listening to this, I hope that you took some good game away, some good gems. I hope that you are walking away believing that it is possible for you, especially if you are a black woman, especially if you are a woman in general in a male-dominated industry. It is possible for you. She's literally living proof. This is a freaking fire captain. I had to get her on the show because I'm like, wow, this is so unique. You are literally my only, unless someone hasn't told me about that job, you're the only woman in this type of industry that I've serviced. And so it is so inspirational to talk to you and to hear your stories and just to listen to where you are emotionally, as far as emotional maturity. I talk to people all the time. I listen to people, obviously consume so much content. You hear people and you man, people are really lost. So to talk to someone else that is like-minded, it feels really, really good and it feels aligned, So I thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up today. And yeah, that is another episode of And Now I Know, and I will see you guys next time.